you. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait.
Hi and welcome back to Rideshare Buddy UK. My name's Kevin and today it's Tuesday and day 2 of our 9 to 5 challenge, and it's just coming up before 9 o'clock, so I'm just about set to switch on the app. Now because it's Tuesday, I've had holiday pay top up, and this week, bit disappointing really, £7.72. Last week I had over £80, but it fluctuates for some reason, I don't know why. But this week, £7.72 already on the clock before we start. So we'll take that into account when I do the figures. Oh, we should remember that when I do the figures. So, day 2, am I going to beat national minimum wage today? I hope so. Came close yesterday. I just made a mistake in taking on an advance booking. Now, I've had people sort of email me and message me saying that you shouldn't worry about only earning £4.50 an hour in the mornings if the afternoons top you up. That's not what I look at. That's not how national minimum wage works. It's not an average over a day. It's the pay you get per hour. And that's my attitude to it. So I won't use afternoon earnings to subsidise low pay in the morning. So for instance, if I was working at a warehouse on national minimum wage and the boss comes in and said, hey guys, I'm going to give you all 2 hours overtime today, tonight, you can do 2 hours overtime at time and a half. Great, you think. And then he turns around, well, because you're going to get paid time and a half after 6 o'clock, this morning, I'm only going to pay you £7 an hour, £3 less than national minimum wage. But don't worry, because your overtime payments will top it up. That doesn't happen in the real world. That's not how national minimum wage earns, and that's not what you should be doing as a taxi driver. You need to be earning your minimum wage every hour you are out on the road. If you're not earning the minimum wage, and that regularly happens, you should not be working those times. You've got to change the times. So for instance, I'm very tight on what I earn. I make sure I'm earning money when I come out, which is why I work 2 till 8, sometimes till 9 on a weekend. And because I don't do these low paid hours in the morning, what it means is last month, after all my expenses have been taken out, my average hourly rate is £16.80. Well, £16.82 last month was what I was earning per hour after expenses. So you take off a couple of pounds of that to set aside for holiday pay and sick pay and things like that. I'm working for about £14.80 an hour when I come out to work, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for close to £15 an hour. That's my target. I'm not going to do that if I'm working mornings for £4 an hour. So I don't do mornings because it brings down my rates way too much. You know, I have minimum earnings requirements, and I'm going to work when I'm going to earn that money. So no, I don't use subsidising a busy time to subsidise a quiet time. I expect quiet times to be earning money as well. So that's it. Okay, so let's, coming up, it's 9 o'clock. Let's switch on and let's see how today goes. And we're away. Okay, we're away. First job, it's 9:05, so I waited 5 minutes. It's only £5.20 job. Just going from Barnardstown. It's not far, it's 1.5 miles away. But it gets me moving. And my first job of the day, £5.40. Okay, so that's the first job done. Only took 5 minutes from Barnardstown up to the Grant Hospital. It'd probably take me longer to get off the hospital grounds than it did to do the job, because it's always so busy here. The roads really aren't made for two-way traffic, so it's really creeping along, trying to squeeze through gaps and pulling over and giving way, and just very, very slow. But that's it. £5.20 in the bag. First job done. Let's hope things get busy. So I just had a second job come in, only about a minute to wait, but it's only £3.50, just round the corner down by the bus station, going on a local trip just up the road. But after yesterday's experience, I know I can't really afford to have a minimum £4.50 job. I've got to take the work where it comes in. So £3.50 my second job. Right, now coming back to using subsidies, busy times to subsidise quiet times, you shouldn't need to do that. It doesn't work that way. You need to find out what times are your busiest and work those hours and maximise the earnings in those hours. I know for me, from 2 till 8 is the busiest time and where I'm going to maximise my earnings. I also know where about in Newport I need to be between 2 and 4 to get most work. I know where I need to be between 4 and 6 to get most work, and I know where I need to be between 6 and 8 to get most work. So I know the times and I know the places, and I can position myself to maximise my earnings. Now sometimes, mornings for instance, it doesn't matter. It's just, you can't get the earnings up enough to warrant coming out. I've tried various locations, various places, tried to squeeze out as much as I can, and I've never earned minimum wage between 9 and 12. Never. Since starting with Uber. But I know I can earn good money between 2 in the afternoon and 8 in the evening, because I know where I need to get to and I know where I need to place myself. Now on Friday and Saturdays and Thursdays sometimes I can work till 9, 9:30. Could probably work all night if I wanted to and earn good money. But I don't want to be around when the drugs start kicking out or when you start getting the aggro and stuff like that. So 9 o'clock's my maximum on a Friday and a Saturday. Although I have worked up till 10 previously if I've had some good runs and good jobs. But it's all about knowing your area and knowing where to be and when to be there. Now I'm quite fortunate in Wales in that Wolverhampton cars can't work here. On Uber, if you want to work in Wales, you have to either be with Newport Council or Cardiff Council, at least for South Wales. Wolverhampton cars can't work the area. So that's a big positive, because if Wolverhampton cars could come in here, it would kill the trade completely. But as it is, you have to be registered with Newport or Cardiff, and both those councils, it takes about 8 to 10 months to get your private eye licence. Now in that time, if you was unemployed and looking to get a job, you could very easily get your HGV licence paid for by the government and be out earning 40 grand a year. So no one's going to hang around for 10 months to get a private eye licence to earn 20. You can earn 40 or 50 as a HGV driver. You could also get your bus licence quicker, and you can get your PHV licence and go work coach companies and bus companies and earn 30,000 a year and have a regular income coming in. So quite fortunate being in Wales in that, to a certain extent, there's limits to the number of drivers, but there's still a lot of them. Okay, so that's the 3.50 in the job, just from the bus station up to doctor's surgery. And let's wait for the next one now. Okay, so just had a job come in, £7.35 from the station, so it's not doing too badly this morning. It looks a bit deceptive on the clock though, because I've got £7.70 already in from holiday pay top up. So it's 22.10. I've got £16, over £16 on the clock, and I've just taken a £7.50 booking. So a bit deceptive because of that £7.70 holiday pay, but put a smile on my face. Well, that was a nice little job from the station down to Lontarnum Business Park, £7.50. I've just picked up a £9.25 job from Pontier, so it's about 3 miles away, but for £9 I'm going to run. It's quite a straightforward run out to Pontier from Cumbran, so it shouldn't take too long, about 5-6 minutes. Okay, so that was a trip out to Clanwern, and nice little hamlet just on the outskirts of Newport from Pontier, £9.45. So not too bad. So it's 10:30, or just coming to 10:30, and I've got 33.25 on the clock in an hour and a half. But when I start quoting these figures, don't forget I've got £7.70 carried over from last week's holiday pay top up. But it's all part of the working day, so 33.25 for an hour and a half. I'm happy. But talking to this chap who I just dropped off highlights an issue we have with Uber, and that is Uber has a real problem with cancellations, drivers cancelling. He was saying, and I've heard it a number of times from passengers, you know, there's jobs where he's been waiting and 3-4 drivers have cancelled, and he's had to wait ages for a car. And that's commonplace with Uber, because a lot of Uber drivers also work for Dragon Cars. Now, Dragon Cars pay drivers a much better mileage rate than Uber does. So what that means is a driver will accept an Uber job but still remain logged on with Dragon Cars, and if Dragon gives them a job paying a lot more than the Uber job, he'll cancel the Uber job. And because so many drivers on Uber in Newport work for Dragon, it means, oh, there's another job. That's going quite well today. 6:51 from England, just down the road, so about 1 mile away. So it can happen that a passenger or a rider will have 2, 3, even 4 drivers cancel on them before they actually get a driver come to pick them up, and that's an issue that Uber needs to deal with. Now, whether they start enforcing their cancellation rate policy and start removing drivers from the app who have a high cancellation, I don't know what they do, but they've got to do something. I know the local council has issues with Uber and cancellation rates, and they are looking at ways of tackling the issue. So the council will penalise drivers who consistently cancel jobs. So that could be a way through a point system, and under totting up you can lose your private eye licence for cancelling too many jobs. That's an option, but something definitely needs to be done, because it's destroying Uber's reputation in Newport. If you need to get to an appointment, if you need to get to a train, if you need to get somewhere by a certain time, you don't use Uber, you use Dragon. That's because Dragon drivers are sabotaging Uber and its reputation, and that needs to stop, and Uber needs to deal with it. Yeah, I've cancelled that job. I weren't sure. I stopped by where the icon showed, and after a few minutes a kid who was at the bus stop where I was came up, was very vague, said, are you here for me because I booked an Uber, Dad's booked an Uber, and it was clearly under 18, so I said, no, I can't, you're under 18, you've got to have somebody who's over 18 with you, so I cancelled it. I don't think he was the guy who'd ordered it, but I've cancelled the job with an unaccompanied minor reason, and I've just picked up another 6:50 job, so I'm just heading over there now, a couple of miles to run, but so be it. I'm fairly sure that kid was not the person who'd booked the car, but that's the way it is, so we're moving on to the next job. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that kid was just sort of trying it on, because I was parked at the bus stop, he came up after a few minutes and he said, "Are you for me? I've ordered a taxi. You're going into town?" I went, "Well, yeah, whereabouts in town you're going to?" So I could just double check on the app, and he goes, "Well, I want to change the destination, but my dad's booked it, so can you take me somewhere else?" I thought, no, this is not the guy who ordered the taxi. So I used this excuse. I just said, "Look, you know, you're under 18. I can't pick you up, can't take you." I mean, this is England, so them chances around here there really are. So I just said no, and cancelled the job and set it up as an unaccompanied minor. What else could you do? I mean, there was nobody in the area. I'd sent a message, he didn't reply. So let's just move on. Well, that was a pleasant trip out for some trade plate drivers from BCA auctions. Coming out to Ponty service station to pick up some cars. So £8.50, just dropped them off. And I might just take a gentle drive out towards the Grange Hospital in case we grab something on the Grange Hospital. And then come back into Newport along the fast dual carriageway, rather than going back out through Cardiff, which is a bit of a slow road really. So might pick something up at the Grange. If not, we'll head straight back into Newport. I've got 41.73 on the clock. It's 11 o'clock, so 2 hours, £41. Not too bad. Well, that's it. There was nothing there from coming out to the hospital. You can sometimes get some quite good jobs out of there because it covers such a wide area. I've had jobs out to Pontypridd, Edinburgh Vale, Abergavenny, Monmouth, all sorts of places out to the hospital. So it's always worthwhile taking a little bit of a detour just to come past, just in case you drop on a job. And if you don't, then you got quite a nice fast road all the way back into Newport, which is a little bit better than going back through Cardiff, which is really quite slow. It can get quite clogged up with traffic. Another benefit is if you're coming back this way, back into Newport, you're skirting around Cumbrain, so there's always a chance of getting a job out of Cumbrain to take you back into Newport. So it's worth a little detour if you're dropping off in Cardiff and come the long way back, rather than the more direct and shorter route back. Okay, so I've just dropped into central Newport, and I've just got a local job about a mile away for £4.60, £4.70. So it's only a local trip. So just on our way out to do that. Should only take me about 5-6 minutes to get there for this quick short job. Okay, that was a fairly straightforward job to do from Chepstow Road up to the railway station. I think it was about a fiver, just under a fiver. Taking us up to £46, and it's 11:30. So I might take that break, lunch break, around 12:30 again. Well, it was 1 o'clock yesterday, but I might try and do it about 12:30. Depending on what the workload's like. Okay, just had a job come in, nice little job, from Newport railway station out to Cardiff for £19.90, pretty much £20. So I'm just on my way out now to Newport station for a pick-up.
Turn right to stay on Cambridge Avenue.
And that should take me up pretty much close to my
Make a sharp right turn on Stow Hill.
planned lunch break. Right, so that's a job from the station up to pretty much the other side of the river at the Millennium Stadium. So that takes me up to 12:15, and I've got £66 on the clock. They've got to take £7 off that, 59. So I'm a little bit lower than I was yesterday, but it's coming up towards lunchtime. So I've set a destination to go back to Newport on the app. Whether I'll get anything or not, I don't know. But I think I'm going to head down to Liasda at Dufferin for my lunch, that'll take me about half an hour up to 1:45. So you can have lunch from 1:45 to 1:45, and that's a good area Dufferin is for early afternoon, because you got the Asda for shoppers. It's quite a high residential area, but the main work you're going to get out of there comes from the industrial estates. Well, they're not industrial estates, commercial estates. There's some quite nice ones down Empire Way, and also you got the Celtic Springs and Holiday Inn, and sort of early afternoon you get a few jobs coming out of there going into the station and into Newport with travelling business people who've been out for the day or for training and stuff like that. You've also got the big Lloyds Bank call centre there, which can do quite a few trips out both into Cardiff and also into Newport. So that is what I think I'm going to do now. I'm going to set the destination to take me back to Newport. We'll stop off at Dufferin and have our hour's lunch there. Okay, I've just had the job come through, which is going to take me part way to Dufferin. It's going to take me down to St Mellons, picking up Whitchurch Road. So I'm just whizzing around the corner to do this pickup. It's paying £6.90, and it's going to take me halfway probably back to Newport, so that's okay. Okay, so that was a fairly quick trip really. Went out from Whitchurch Road to Pentwyn, which is, I don't know, not even halfway round, but it's now just gone 20 to 1. I'm going to head back now down to Asda at Dufferin, grab a coffee down there and have my lunch break. That'll take me up to about 1 o'clock, so I'll have my 1 hour lunch break there. And it's going to be able to compare it to yesterday, because yesterday by this time I'd done what, £64 because of that job to Bristol, which really was a lifesaver for earnings wise. And today I'm on 73. Now you're going to subtract £7 holiday pay from last week, so I'm on 66. So pretty much the same as yesterday. So I'm making about £8.50 an hour this morning after expenses. So like I say, I've never earned minimum wage working mornings between 9 and 12. Never done it. Not going to do it today either. But let's head off to Asda for lunch. Right, it's time out to take out some lunch. I brought my snacks with me today. My normal snacks, what I normally have. Some walnuts and some dates. Quite fitting, will keep me through going. And the Asda at Dufferin has a McDonald's in it, so a McDonald's coffee. So time to chill out for an hour. I'm on a par with yesterday with earnings, 73 minus 64, because I go minus 7 off that. So I'm on 66, almost the same as yesterday for 4 hours work, so about £8.50, maybe £8.55, something like that, for morning per hour. So let's have a look at that job I cancelled on a young lad. Now, Uber's terms and conditions means that you have to be over 18 to book a car, and any passengers who are under 18 must be accompanied by somebody who is over 18. That's Uber's terms and conditions. Now, I do quite happily accept younger children unaccompanied, but generally when that happens, they're booked by their parents and they'll send a message saying you're picking up Jane, picking up James from school who's missed the bus and bringing them home. Is that okay? They will normally message me, And when I get that message, I know when I turn up at the spot, I'm not going to see a blue circle where the phone is, because it's the parents who's booked it. I also know the name of the child, so I can double check I've got the right person on board. And that works really well. I have no problems at all doing that. Under 10s, I don't, full stop. I have had primary school children. I've gone around the house, picked up a primary school child and to go to primary school, and I've sat waiting for the parent to come out, and the child said, "Are you ready to go?" I said, "Well, where's your parent?" And they go, "Oh, they've not come in." So they've either already gone to work and left the child to work their own way to school, or the parent just isn't coming out. I don't carry 10-year-olds and under, generally through Uber. I will do it on my private hire airport transfer work, but I have special forms that the parents have to fill in for parental guardianship and get through airports and that. But I would not do a general day child under the age of 10. I just wouldn't. You know, parents, you have a responsibility to make sure your kid gets to school. If it's an overseas child coming into boarding school, then yes, no problem. I pick up from the airport or I take to the airport. So on that situation, that lad, I had no blue icon because evidently his dad had ordered the car. I hadn't been given a message from the parent saying that I'm picking up a child. I didn't know the name of the child. What I did, I parked up at the location where the marker was, which was at a bus stop. Could have been anybody at that bus stop. And the kid came across and said, "Are you going into town?" I went, "Don't know." He said, "Oh, my dad's ordered it, so it might be somewhere else, but I want to change the location to go to town and not to any location." Come on, I don't know whether that guy is genuine. I don't know whether that is a person who actually ordered it for. I don't know if or anything. It could just be a young kid chancing it to get a free ride into town. So I just cancelled the order, the booking, and I marked it down as unaccompanied child, which I can do on the app. So that's what I did for that one. So the other one I want to discuss is Uber having a real issue with high cancellation rates of drivers and riders getting high cancellation rates. It's not good for the rider. It's killing the reputation of Uber in Newport. Because if you go for a meal, or going to the theatre, or catching a train, you don't book with Uber because you don't know if you're going to turn up or how many times it's going to cancel. And I've had a number of passengers who are picked up. Yeah, so what you have is drivers will dual app. They'll drive for both Uber and in Newport it's going to be Dragon cars. Might be a few doing it for Central and ABC, but ABC's part of Dragon now. They'll mostly would be driving for Dragon. Now Dragon is quite expensive, they have high rates, and the drivers get paid a lot more money for doing a job than they do what Uber pay. Uber really at the bottom end of the market for paid drivers. So I'll sit on rank on both Uber and Vezu app, the Dragon app, and they'll get a job through from Uber, and they'll start heading off, and they'll go out towards picking up at Uber, and then a Dragon job will come through. Obviously, the Dragon job pays more, so they'll cancel the job on the Uber rider, and they'll do their Dragon job. Now that can happen 2 or 3 times while the rider's waiting. 2 or 3 Dragon drivers can, or other private drivers can pick up the job and then cancel it because they get another better paid job. That leaves a really bad experience, a really bad user experience with riders. And I know there's some Uber drivers whose cancellation rates are in double figures, 10, 15, 20% even, in busy areas, because they keep just cancelling it to go for a better paid job. And that's really got to stop. Uber really has got to sort this issue out and get rid of those drivers who have really high cancellation rates and who are persistently cancelling. I know local councils in Wales have a big issue with complaints from customers who book cars, particularly Uber, and then they get cancelled and they've missed a train, or they've missed the hospital appointment, or they've missed something really important, because drivers are cancelling on the job rather than doing it. You know, the reality is, if you don't like the pay that Uber is offering, just don't take the job. You know, don't take the job and then cancel it, because you really cause people a lot of problems and a lot of issues by doing that. But anyway, local councils in Wales are getting a lot of complaints about this, and this is why going through the Welsh Parliament now is a new Welsh taxi bill that covers taxis and private hire and rideshare. And one of the things they are looking at doing is introducing penalty point system for various low non-safety, non-risk sort of issues, like not having a fire extinguisher in the car or not wearing your badge. And one of them will be cancelling jobs on riders. So if you as a driver keep cancelling, you will get penalty points, and after you built up enough penalty points, you will have your private hire licence removed from you. So that's one option, which is currently going through the Senate and which are being consulted on. So giving local authorities the power to monitor your cancellation rate. How they're going to do that, I don't know. Maybe they're going to require local private hire operators to monitor the cancellation rates of their drivers, and those drivers who have a high cancellation rate will be reported to the council, and then they'll issue the points. Maybe operators will have to submit a monthly report on all the drivers as to what jobs they've done and what jobs they've cancelled, and then the local authority can then issue points on that licence for the driver who are consistently cancelling jobs. You know, maybe that's one way to do it, so that those who cancel frequently are just kicked out of the trade. But until that happens, Uber is going to take control, because it's just doing their reputation no good at all, and they must be losing a lot of money. They're losing a lot of customers over it, particularly good quality work as well. Work to railway stations, work to hospitals, work to airlines. Nobody's going to book with a taxi company who can't guarantee that the driver will turn up, or can't guarantee how many drivers will be sent and before someone actually gets to them. So that needs to be done. Yeah, Uber really needs to crack down on these drivers. Okay, that's it. It's 2 o'clock. Let's switch the app back on and see how we do compared to yesterday. Remember, I had a good hour and a half without any work at all, because I did that advance booking. I accepted that advance booking. But today, there's no advance booking to hold me up. So let's just wait. Okay, so it's 17 minutes past 2 and I've just had my first job come in. Only a £5.20 local one. So I'm just off to do that. It's about a mile away. So not too bad at all, really. We are moving. So that's a simple Clifton Road down to the Friars Walk, £5.47. So it's 2:30 and we're on £78.73. Well, so I've just got another job coming in from the station. £7.30. So we're edging up towards that £80 mark, and it's 20 to 3. Well, that's annoying. It happens on occasions. It comes up as a Newport station. You do a quick whiz round to the station, and you suddenly see his icon is down at the back of the station at a big car park, and that means you've got to go all the way around the Queensway to get onto the back part of the station. So that can take an extra 4 or 5 minutes. maybe longer during the rush hour. But it is 20 to 3 now. Yeah, once all of the drivers have gone off on their school runs, this is the time when you start earning your £25 an hour plus in work, and it's when it starts getting lucrative. Provided the one thing you got to do is stay away from areas where there's schools. I'll try and avoid like the plague anything going to or picking up from Cardiff during the school run hours, because it's only a small town, very narrow roads. The entire town goes into gridlock at school kick-out time because there's a big comprehensive land, some quite big primary schools. So you want to avoid that at all costs during the school rush hour. Okay, so that was a quick trip from the station down to car auctions down at Smitty, trade plate driver, and I've got a trip to run onto now, going from Iswari Primary School, only a local one, 450, so that's just less than a mile away, just round the corner. So let's get on with that one, get that 450 marks off. It's 3 o'clock and I've got £85 on the clock, so we're moving along. So that was a trip out to Lysard village from Lisbury. It's only a £4.50 job, very local, and I've just picked up a run-on job from Corporation Street. It's 11.65. It was a trip out to St Mellons from Commercial Road, so that's £11 on. So I've got £101 on the clock. It's 20 to 4, and I've got a run-on job for £11 from St Mellons. Can't remember where it was going to. We'll see what happens. It might be after Cardiff, might be after Newport, we'll see. But it's only just down the road, so let's go and pick this guy up or girl up and get into where they want to go. Okay, so that was a St Mellons down to Canton. That was £11.60, something like that. Then I got a job straight after from Canton out to Victoria Wharf down in Cardiff Bay, and now I've got another run-on job picking up in Penarth. Not quite sure where that's going, so we'll have a look. But that last one was about £6.90. So it's now 4:30, and I've got £120 on the clock. So let's carry on and see what I can do up to 5 o'clock. Then we'll stop taking orders, stop taking jobs, and head back to the office in Newport. It's probably going to be about a 5:30 finish again today, like it was yesterday. Just been interesting to see what sort of difference we've made in the hourly rate, that's all. So that Penarth job was out to the Sinclair VW group, so I paid £7.40 odd. So I'm currently on hold on a minute, we've got a lot of traffic. I hate Cardiff. It's been real slow going this last 90 minutes being in Cardiff. So I'm currently on 128 and I've got 9 minutes left, so I think I've probably accepted my last job, which is being picked up at Cardiff South, sort of central, about 3 miles away. Yeah, this is going to be my last job, and it was I think it's at £8, something like that. So I'm probably going to end up on about 135 or thereabouts, and then I've got to drive over back to the office in Newport to get my hours. So probably finishing about 5:30, maybe about 5:45. So let's see, let's pick this one up and get this last job done in the bag. I'm just going to switch off acceptance of new jobs now, so I don't get distracted by other jobs popping up. Okay, that's it, just dropped off my last passenger of the day. It's 6 minutes past 5, and now I'm heading back it's not looking good. Lots of traffic around Cardiff. Waze is saying it's going to take 45 minutes to get back to Newport, back to the office. So that's not good. 10 to 6 it's due in. That last job was from one side of Cardiff Bay to the other side of Cardiff Bay for £7.50. So my total for today is £135. Drop off that sort of £7 brings it down to about 128. It's just a shame that that last 90 minutes was stuck in Cardiff, because the traffic around Cardiff today, this evening, has been horrendous. Much worse than normal. So I really wish I'd stuck around Newport. But another day tomorrow, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll get back, see what time it is I get back, and then we'll work out my hourly rate for the day.
In half a mile,
So,
turn left onto A4.
see you later. Well, it's hard work, this is getting back. It's going to be 5 to 6 before I get back to the base. So that's almost an hour's overtime. I think I made a mistake by going into Cardiff. That commercial road to St Mellons, what I should have done there is to switch on the destination to come back into Newport and try and work my way back into Newport. Instead, I took that St Mellons into Cardiff, and that then was just traffic for the last 90 minutes. Now at 4 o'clock, which is that time when I should have done it, onwards, there's plenty of work in Newport. I don't need to go to Cardiff for work. I should have just come straight back in and started work in Newport instead. And that would have meant I wouldn't have this 1 hour drive back from Cardiff during peak rush hour. So that's what I'll think about tomorrow. If I start heading out towards St Mellons and Cardiff way, sort of 3 o'clock, 3:30 onwards, always make sure I set my destination for coming back to Newport and work the Newport area. 4. Okay, so finally, let's see if we can bring some light on. No, not great, but still. Finally, we are back at the office. It's taken 50 minutes to get back from Cardiff. So 6 o'clock. Oh, let's see what we got. 6 o'clock, and I got 135.59. So let's work out our figures. So it's an hour's overtime, so it's 8 hours work day today. Let's do my get my reading glasses out so I can see what I'm doing. So we've got 7 times 8 is £56 in costs for today. So what was that? 8 times 7, 56. So let's go 135 minus 56 equals, that's £79 profit. Divide by 8 hours is 9.85 or 9.87. Got to knock off an hour, £1 an hour, because this was holiday pay, £7. That's equivalent to about £1 an hour, or 80 pence an hour. So that's 9.07 pounds an hour, which surprisingly is just a penny more than yesterday, where I had 9.06 an hour. Now, isn't that a coincidence? Possibly not. We know the algorithm is spot on at figuring things out, so maybe it's not. So 9.06, less than minimum wage, and I couldn't pay myself holiday pay. So tomorrow is another day. I mean, a lot of that is down to the 1 hour wasted dead time coming back from Cardiff. So, I mean, might have made minimum wage if I was still in Newport. But we are tweaking it. We are tweaking it bit by bit. We may make minimum wage by Friday. So I learnt yesterday not to do pre-bookings because I get too much dead time. I've learnt today not to go into Cardiff on the evening or the afternoon. In the afternoon, I make sure I set the destination and get back into Newport, so I don't get stuck with this 1 hour trip back from Cardiff back to the office, which is just dead time. In the morning, it's not so bad because I know there's no work in Newport in the morning. So if my first job is at 9 o'clock, it's from Newport to Cardiff, it's worth working up to lunchtime in Cardiff and then heading back to Newport. In the afternoon, stay away from Cardiff because of the traffic and the amount of time it takes to get back. But we are heading our way, so £9.07 an hour today, after I've taken off that little bit of holiday pay from last week. What I'm going to have to do next Tuesday is do a quick short with an update after I find out how much I get paid holiday pay top up this week. You can't even guess at it. I mean, this week for last week I had £7.70 in holiday pay top up. Last week my Tuesday holiday pay top up was £87. So ask me, say, Kevin, why is there such a big difference between £87 last week and £7 this week? Go on, ask me, what is the difference? Fuck knows. I don't know. This is Uber. Uber does what Uber does. So next week I might get £4 top up. I might get £40 top up. I might get £80 top up. I just don't know. Not until next Tuesday. So next Tuesday I'll do a short with the adjustment for my hourly rate. So yesterday £9.06 an hour. Today £9.07 an hour. Fairly close by. We'll see what we can do tomorrow. So until next time, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and share. And any comments, drop them in the comments below. I do like to. So until tomorrow, safe driving.